high steam machines. Today, it's a tough one. We're back onto the music calculator, and after the fabulous pixel art session that we had with Miss Yui, we realized that it's far too easy when a calculator gives you the result. Yes, of course, that's the job of a calculator, but we're here to learn how to do numeracy better, how to improve our math skills. So something needs to change, and unfortunately, as you may have read on the description of this video, computers are not as intelligent as we would like them to be, are they, Miss Yui? What do you think?
No, they can only do what we asked. Computer says no sometimes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'd like the computer to say no sometimes, but you just don't bother replying. That's the main problem. So what we're trying to do with this stream is to create a different system in which the computer is asking us for the answer. And if we do it right, then we get a point. If we do it wrong, then we don't get a point. We go to the next operation. We're still going to stay with the choice of numbers. So we're going to be able to set up the number at the beginning. But we're going to go through a few modifications. So this is actually going to cost quite a lot of coding blocks. Just so you're aware, this is not one of the lessons that we teach in class. It will be far too difficult. So this is something that we do in the background and then present the students with it. Just in case you're wondering, definitely year 3 and 4 cannot do this. If instead you are teaching maybe secondary schools, perhaps year 7 or 8, those students will certainly cope with these concepts. So without further ado, I think we're ready to jump in, aren't we, Miss Yui?
Yes.
All right, so let's see where we have left off. This was the calculator. It's asking us for two numbers at the beginning. The percentage sign comes down. We lose life if it touches us, as you can see. If I shoot it with a shield, which is the dino shell, then we can recover some energy. Yeah. If instead I shoot the other one, it gives us the result. But what we want is instead an opposite system that instead of giving us the result, asks us for the result and then tells us if we were right or wrong. Right, let's try and do this. Okay, so first of all, we have a few, I'm gonna expand them, unfortunately. Sorry about the mess. I'm gonna tidy them up a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna collapse the ones that we're not using, but unfortunately these blocks are gonna become massive. If you think that these are many, gonna be much more. Apologies for that. So at the moment, what's happening is once we, at the beginning of the game, we choose the name, the numbers. Yeah, here you go. You see these two numbers. So because this is something that I want to be able to repeat during the game, I'm going to create a function that is called number choice. Okay, number choice. A function is basically a list of instructions that we can repeat at any given time. So I'm going to place it, the correct word is, I'm going to call it at the beginning. You see it's here, the very beginning of my start block, but at the same time we're gonna work on the addition here. So let's imagine that we have just started the game, we have selected the two numbers, and now this is what should happen. First of all, the computer should not give us the answer, it should ask us what is the result. So let's try and build it. So we've shot the addition sign, okay? So it's destroying sprite, and it's gonna ask us. Here we go, splash. I'm just gonna say, can you calculate? Actually, sorry, can you add? And then on the second screen, we're gonna get another splash. In this case, we're gonna try and place in the numbers. Now, if you remember from the earlier code, the numbers and the text are two very different things for the computer. So an integer and a string are two very different types of data. So we're gonna have to convert them. All right. So we're gonna find a convert. Now you can see why we don't teach this to the kids. It's a bit too advanced. So we can convert number 1 to... Sorry, miss, did you say something?
So many things you need to tell.
Yes, unfortunately. So number 1 and number 2, yeah? And then we want to join these two. So luckily there's one that says join. And we can put 3 elements. So it's going to be number 1. I'm going to put plus. And then I'm going to put number 2. Okay? Can you add splash blah 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 blah? Okay? And at this stage, we're going to ask our player for an answer. But before we can ask for an answer, well, we need to set up a variable, don't we? So I'm just going to place a variable here, which is very simply going to be called answer. And I'm going to place it here. It's going to be empty for now. We don't need it to be anything special. But in here, actually, let me just get... I'm not going to delete this one. I'm going to use it in a minute, but we need to create it first. We're going to be able to set the answer to whatever the player is answering. So it's going to be an ask. Remember, the difference between string and number is that the string are some words. The number instead is a number. That's very simple, right? And then we need to make a little if statement that says that if we get it right, we get a congratulations and we get a point. If we get it wrong instead, it calls the new function and maybe says better luck next time, go back and study, something like that. So here we go. On logic, I can make this if statement, yeah? I'm gonna get the second block. And it says if, so basically if my answer is the correct result, so I'm gonna go into comparison, I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna grab my answer. Right, so if my answer is effectively this, then I'm gonna get a congratulatory message. So I'm gonna get a well done, mathematician. Alright. And then we're gonna get a point. The points, if you remember, they're under the info place. Okay. The other one instead, so if we get it incorrect, so you can see that it says if answer is effectively number 1 plus number 2, we get a point and we get a congratulation. Otherwise, we need to get a different splash. And in this case, we can say better luck next time. And then perhaps we can go something that says the correct answer was, and here I can reuse the block we had before, but I'm gonna have to make a copy of these. Because this is the result, this is the real result. Okay. And that should do the trick. No, sorry, I forgot. We need to ask for a... Do we need to ask for a new number? Yes, we need to ask the player for a new number. So I'm gonna call that same function that says number choice. So you see, it's
so
become
that's
big.
why you made a function.
Yes, so you can recall it all the time, but it's a bit of a challenge. And I hope it works, because in theory that is correct. So let's see, 8 and 5, okay. I'm gonna try to shoot that plus sign when it comes available. Just a moment, there we go. Shoot, come on. Come back. No, late. Sorry guys, it's more difficult than I expected. Come on, plus sign, can be. There we go. Can you add, you see it's asking, 8 plus 5, alright, so 8 plus 5 is 13. Well done, mathematician. And now I need to get some other numbers, so let's say 5 and 4. And you see that on top right, I've got a new number. Let's see. Can you add 5 and 4? Let's get it wrong. Let's get 8. It says better luck next time. The correct answer was 9. All right. So we're gonna go for the next number. Makes sense? It's pretty good. It works. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. There's an issue though. We've only done. Oh my goodness gracious. We've only done the addition so far. So let me just quickly go and create the others. Yeah. I'm just gonna get rid of these.
Do you need to do it from scratch?
No, I just made a copy with a right click, remember? So I can do next I can do the multiplication. So just by reading through the block, in theory, we should be able to go very quickly. So you see, can you multiply number 1, and this is times. Times on the code is usually an asterisk, a star sign, but you can also put a X, okay? So they're interchangeable. So if it's correct, it's a well done transition. If it's incorrect, then it spits out the correct answer. And you can see it was not too difficult. So let's keep on going. I'm gonna duplicate, and this time I'm gonna move on to the division, okay? And this one I'm gonna put a slash. Can you divide? Then from here we're gonna change this to this sign and this sign. And one last time, I think we're gonna try and go for the subtraction. All right. So can you subtract? Okay, so we put a minus sign here, and we've got the subtraction and the subtraction here as well. And I think we're good. So let's try. Let's see as a very final thing. We're just gonna use something very simple, 10 and 5. We'll try them all, yeah? 10 times 5. All right, so we've got a 50. It says well done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do again 10 and 5. And this time we're gonna divide. So I've got a 2. It says well done, perfect. Again 10 and 5. Let's try to add it. I missed. I missed again. Sorry. There's quite a few going through. By the way, if you put the wrong number, guys, to delete it, you press the X and it gets rid of it. So here's the addition coming back. There we go. Ah, come on. Cheeky plus sign. Very cheeky plus sign. There we go. I got you now. 10 and 5 is 15. Does it work? Yes, it does. One more time. We want to, what's the leftover? To subtract it. So I'm going to hit that subtract sign, hopefully. Not quite. Sorry, guys. It's a bit time consuming, this one, but it's worth the testing time. Okay, that. No, it's a bit elusive, this minus sign. There we go, got it. 10 minus 5, 5. It worked. So we've got, is it 5 points or 6 points? Something like that. There we go, it works. Wow, this was quite a ride, isn't it? This is a bit of a challenging one. I think we still have some road to go ahead with this calculator, but at least it's a nice start. And just so we're clear on what we have created, because there was a lot of stuff. Let me just talk you through these new blocks. Once again, this is not something that we expect students to do. It's something that we expect teachers to put together, and we provide these to the students already. So I'm going to take this as an example, just to make sure that we all understand, especially as teachers, what this is doing. So when your projector, so the equal sign, hits the division, the division gets, the projectile gets destroyed with a little animation. And the players ask the question, can you divide? And then this is saying, number 1, these yellow blocks, basically they're just for the computer's sake, not for us. They need to transfer a integer, so a number, into a string. That's why they are converting. Huh? So they are converting number 1 to text and number 2 to text. Number 1 and number 2, if you remember, they are these two functions here. So whenever the function number choice is called, we need to get these two up and running. So we need to input them through our numpad on the screen. And this other yellow block is joining 3 different things. So we've got number 1, the divide sign, and the second number as well. At this stage, the player is asked what you think the answer is. And we have an if statement that says if the answer that we have just inputted, you see this one, is actually correct, so it's matching the division of the two numbers, then we can carry on. And we get a compliment and we get a point. If not, we just said, better luck next time. The correct answer was something else. And then we convert to text. Now, there's a number of issues here, guys. Let me bring Miss Yui back into the screen. Otherwise, it feels like I'm just by myself. Where is Miss Yui? Here we
Hello.
go.
Hello.
Welcome back, Miss Yui. So, I think there's a few issues to discuss. So, first of all, because we are dealing with quite young students, they might not be as familiar with negative numbers or with divisions with decimal or perhaps irrational numbers. So, I think when it comes to the students, we're going to, first of all, make sure that the second number is always smaller than the first one, so we don't go into negative. And that's just going to simplify a little bit. And also when it comes to division, I think we're going to use what is called a floor instead of a proper division sign. So a floor, in case you haven't used it before, is a mathematical function that gets rid of the remainder. So for example, 10 divided by 3, normally you will say that it's 3.33333, but actually no, with the floor function it's 3 only. And you get rid of the 1, so the remainder, you don't split it, you don't worry about it, you just get rid of it. And you know, even though it's not the correct result, it makes more sense for the young children that we are working with. So I hope you enjoyed this, and before we wrap up this stream, Miss Yui, have you got something to add? Or maybe some suggestions that you had, something that came to mind, or a comment in general?
Well, so far, I think it's getting more and more exciting video game, isn't it? So
it's a lot of movement indeed. There's points, there's lives, there's status bars.
Yes.
Lots of stake.
Yes. Maybe we can set up the few more different things. We can set the number from the beginning, maybe. So we can choose the numbers. We can make them choose the number. Make the computer choose
that's going to be
number.
a tough one. We'll try it. And I think as we go through the points, this should be more and more challenging, isn't it? So when you start,
that's the thing.
It's just a few smaller numbers, and then you move forward.
To see how much things computer be doing, and also how many things we need to teach
There's a
to
little
computer.
Bit of, yeah, absolutely. We're not teaching ourselves only, not the students, but we're teaching even to the computer. All right, guys. So thank you very much for following this stream. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is it for today from Mr. E and Miss Yui. I hope you see you on the next live stream, where indeed we're going to transform this calculator into a number machine, where the computer will choose 2 numbers and interrogate us. We give them the right answer, we get points. If not, we just need to carry on and hopefully not get hit by bombs. All yours, guys. Have a wonderful day ahead of you, and see you on the next episode. All the best, and as always, stay curious. Bye bye.
Bye bye.